Whether you enjoy the thrill of watching your nightmares come to life, or you prefer to hide behind the couch with your eyes closed and your hands covering your ears, horror films are one of our favorite genres of film today. Let's take a look at the best horror films you can stream on Netflix in August 2018. When Roger and Carolyn move into a New England farmhouse with their 5 daughters and dog, they begin to experience paranormal activity throughout the house. As the hauntings continue, they contact demonologists and paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Wilson, who have recently attracted headlines after investigating the Annabelle doll. Together, they attempt to investigate what's causing the haunting in Harrisville.
Do you want to see him?
Yeah.
When the music stops, you see him in the mirror standing behind you.
Amelia is in mourning over her newly deceased husband, exhausted and too tired to deal with her emotionally unstable son, Sam, when a disturbing children's book appears at her house. As she reads from the book, the monster inside threatens to devour both her and Sam, causing nightmares and hauntings within the house. The Babadook is a terrifying tale about the true fears of grief and the aftermath of losing the person you loved the most.
It's me.
As a horror comedy, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil might be the least haunting film on this list. But considering the amount of gore and blood in this film, Tucker and Dale delivers by giving audiences a bloody good time. The film follows 2 well-meaning hillbillies who recently purchased a lakefront cabin together in the woods. When a group of college students going camping believe Tucker and Dale have kidnapped one of their friends, their attempts to rescue her turn the night into a bloody mess. Set in 1991, Veronica follows the titular 15-year-old living in Madrid. When the rest of her class leaves to view a solar eclipse, Veronica and her friends decide to stay behind and play with a Ouija board, attempting to awaken spirits from the dead. Things go from bad to worse, as Veronica finds herself unable to eat, haunted by paranormal entities, and covered in mysterious claw marks all over her body. Creep 2 follows a young documentarian named Sarah, who directs a web series where she meets people with odd friendship requests on Craigslist. Sarah plans to end the show with one final episode, where she documents a man's life for a day in exchange for $1,000. When she arrives to the house to film her final episode, the man reveals himself as Aaron, a serial killer responsible for the death of 39 people. Although nervous, Sarah accepts the man's request to film a day in his life.
Are you ready to go?
Wow, you're a tough nut to crack.
The film that brought M. Night Shyamalan's career to the forefront, The Sixth Sense is a perfect mix of supernatural horror and drama with an unforgettable twist that's still discussed 20 years later. Bruce Willis stars as Malcolm Crowe, a child psychologist who's attacked by a former patient. A year later, Malcolm's life is in shambles, distant from his wife and drawn to a new case with a young boy who seems to suffer from the same delusions as his former patient. Malcolm must work to discover whether Cole, played by Haley Joel Osment, is actually seeing the spirits of the deceased, or if he too is suffering from hallucinations.
I see dead people.
A young college student named Jay sets out on a first date with her new boyfriend Hugh, and despite a few odd moments throughout the night, everything seems perfect. After her first sexual experience with Hugh, she awakens to find herself haunted by an unseen entity, a shapeshifter that has every intention of murdering Jay. A brilliant white-knuckle horror film, It Follows will leave you sleeping with the lights on. Not for the faint of heart, Raw follows Justine, a lifelong vegetarian who begins her first semester at veterinarian school as a legacy student. When brought to a hazing ceremony for new students, Justine feels uncomfortable until running into her older sister Alexia, another student, who shows her photos of students covered in blood. As the hazing continues, Justine begins to experience cravings for meat that promise to push Justine further into grotesque experiments that will churn your stomach and haunt you for weeks to come. That wraps up our top 10 list of the best horror films on Netflix, but make sure to check out these other top 10 lists and subscribe to our channel for new streaming suggestions every month.